Hey everybody, welcome back. Part 4 of this nightmare I put myself in trying to create something amazing. We're trying to create interesting path, not path 4, just an interesting opening hole that sort of has a bit of wow factor to it and really sets your course off to a good start and gets everyone sort of interested in what the rest is going to be like. So we've got to have lots of ideas and keep working it until we're really happy with our opening hole. So I had an idea to change the theme last night because I wasn't overly happy with it. I wanted to go for a Fjordland theme, but my biggest issue with the Fjordland theme is I lose my surface weathering ability. I don't know why the game has done it like that, but they've taken it so you can't have surface weathering in the Fjordland theme, which is just bizarre, and I don't get why they've done that. So I'm just looking around for interesting views, and as you can see, it's a great theme. The mountains and the views are spectacular. So I'm thinking of what I can do with this. Looks all okay around there. You got a nice road around the edge there, which looks pretty cool. It's just this edge is a bit straight here, so we might have to join that bit up onto the land. Not have this bit of water here, but the rest is okay. I'm thinking of getting rid of this lump of land here, and then we'll have a play with some of the backdrops and see if we can get a nicer looking backdrop going on, because I wasn't overly impressed with the one I chose before. But like I say, I've got a trade-off because I'm losing my surface weathering, and that's a big part of what I do, but it may push us to try different things, so it's not a bad thing. To see what we can come up with. Where are we now with that tiny little island? Let's get rid of that. We'll have a look at our drive now and see if that's made anything more interesting. Stick tiger on and put it on high. It's quite a cool looking backdrop, but let's have a look at the shot and then we'll worry about what the backdrop looks like from the green, and have a quick pan around when we're up there. I did always want to do a New Zealand course. I'm wondering if we can get away with our backdrop was New Zealand in the summer rather than sort of a fjord environment. See, the way we've got the course at the moment, we're sort of losing a lot. It's going to have to be quite a low level course to get a lot of that area in. We've got to come up with ideas. So do we make it like at the moment, let's try and flatten that back bit out as well. So we're really opening up the view. And we're going to have to just bring this up to join on to over here somewhere. Bring all this up to join it. Come on. Sorry, it's a little bit fiddly, this bit. Definitely got lots of interesting views. Let's have a look at the drive now. See, I would like to get that angle more. There's that big, really tall mountain there. We're never going to get that in. I'd like to kind of have that view if I'm going to use it, but that means extending the fairway to the left a bit more. That's one option. Let's have a look at another backdrop now. We've dropped all that down a bit. See if we can get anything else. Things I really like on this is that road that runs around that town there. That's going to look quite cool. That backdrop there with a hole up there somewhere. It's going to look really cool. I wonder if we can get away with a New Zealand sort of landscape. Anyone from New Zealand, tell me if that was what it would look like in the summer. I know it's a lot more snowy in the winter, but I wonder if we can get away with that, because that's really interesting if we can. Backdrops. See if there's any. What others have we not used? Let's try this one. Yeah, I did like that one. What's it look like all the way around? It's probably not as cool as the other one. Let's have a look at the drive. It's okay. The other one I think had a little bit more going on about it. What others have we got? Got one, start from the beginning. So that's more spread out. Kind of interesting. Just a bit more work. I just have to drop all that away again in a minute. Let's have a look at the drive. It's not bad. That first one had a nicer feel to it, I think, all the way around. Some nice views this way, but not so much that way really. So let's go back to that. Don't know if I tried this one, did I? It's all too close, and that means I'd have to sort that out, so not that one. This was the one that I liked with that there, yeah, we like that one. Number 3 at the moment. It's okay, but it's not as dramatic. This one. That would mean joining up a lot more land. Losing our sort of islandy feel to it. That's definitely number 3. We'll stick with that for now. And if not, I'll go back to Boreal at some point. If I want my surface weathering back. If I can't get the sort of textures I want and the way it's working through there. So I'll got an idea here, is maybe to put like a faux beach in. It's just got to look unique and interesting, and at the moment it doesn't really give me that vibe of being anything sort of exciting to look at. Right, let's cut this bit away. There. I'll add a little beach in this little corner here. It's not going to be like a beach, it's just going to be like a sort of low dirt, basically, with rocks. I'm going to put loads of little rocks in it, I think. Which we will draw in. And we can even have a little bit more rock work coming off this point. Let's try and get that in now. Bit of terrain paint. Oh, bit of terrain painting on dirt. With all this filled in with dirt. Need to just sort that little bit out there I've missed. Leave the rocks for the sharp edges there. That's working okay, so we just need to raise or flatten them. Just these two bits here. And one. To do for a moment. I don't want any of that. We'll leave the grass for a minute. Let's get some rocks along there and see what that looks like. How much of that can I see first? Not a hell of a lot. I'd like to expose a bit more of that town off on the left of my view there, so it's a case of dropping this area down a bit. So all we'll do is go to raise, use a nice soft shape without affecting our course. Drop that down a little bit. So how much more we can see. It's okay for a second. Oh, get rid of you. I'm wondering next if we can just raise this road up a bit higher. We can do something interesting along here. If we're going to lose anything by doing it, let's have a look. We can flatten all this out in a bit, it's just an idea. Losing our sight line on our bunker maybe. You can see there's a bunker there. But that would mean a lot more flattening out on this section. You just got to be careful with how much runoff we're going to get now. Just flatten that out for a minute. I'll leave all that nice and open because we've got lots of nice views there. I think I'm going to add a bit more rock work here. And I think we'll use this one. So I'm going to bring it out a little bit. Doesn't matter how high we are with some of them, because we're going to have to just blend all that together. It's one of my favourite rocks to use, but it's tricky not to make it too repetitive. Just fill that little bit in there. I might have to just run that as a little out of bounds area just to make sure no one gets stuck in there. Right, we'll go small and we'll change it and we'll go like that. Try and add something like that, and we'll try a little bit more through here. And we'll try this stone. So for this sort of stuff I like to use, there's a particular stone I like to use. You'd think I'd know what page it was on, wouldn't you? I think it's this one. Go really small with it. We'll keep it at the first run. So we're going to stay quite high up on our view, so we're not putting them too close together. Now, this is a bit of a meter killer, this sort of style of rock work. You can see we're on 1.1 at the moment. By the time I finish doing this, I reckon it would have took a big chunk of meter. That's not something I want to do too much. That's one run. I'm going to turn it around, go a bit bigger, go a bit further back. So I really want to keep them sort of separated. And the next one's going to be a smaller one and a little bit closer because I want quite a lot of these. We'll see if it works. We're going to put quite a few out in the water as well, so it's not so defined. Okay, so if I add the natural rocks in the game, let's see what that does. See if we get any going along there. Has it added any? I don't think it has. It's another shame about this theme. So I definitely don't like that grass on that. Let's try taking that out for a minute. Okay, now we're going to add lots of those rocks in the water. So to do that, obviously it's going to hug the floor, so once you've moved it, and that's it, it's going to stay at that height now. So I can now add loads that spill out into the water and just try and blend in the edges a little bit more here, and then we'll have to do a few runs of different sizes and different angles. But we can spread them quite far out into the water. We're going to change the angle in a second so we don't repeat too much. Let's go a little bit bigger and a bit further back. Try and get a few in. I'm going to be sparing of those ones, the bigger ones, because you will see a repeat. And we'll go quite small, I think. Make sure we can see it, and we'll go quite detailed around the edge with this one. So we're on 1.7, so that's used up. What was we on? 1.3 or 1.1 when we started. It's a bit of a killer, this But it looks good, but you can't use it as much as you'd want to, I don't think. Just twist it again. Right, so that's an idea. I don't like our fairway at the moment. It's my only gripe with it. Don't know if that bit works there. Let's just try taking it out. See if we can't just add some bushes or something there. So what have we got there? That fairway, let's just delete that spline actually. Take that out, keep that really tight. But we're definitely going to need to do a bit more flattening out here. It's going to kick you way too much into there. Just by doing that, hopefully we can create a little bit of a flatter area. Looks okay for a minute. And then here we're going to have to sort of put in a bit of... See, your drive's going to be here. If I add too much here, we're going to lose sight of the green, which we don't really want. So I think we're going to have to lose that bit there. I think we might get away with this shape. We'll just get rid of that heavy rough that we put in. So it's just a case of making it similar to the rest. Bringing that back up, we need a more solid shape there. So now we're finding out how much time I actually spend on a hole. I thought it might be a 3 or 4 parter, but away we're going, it could be 7 or 8. But I want to get my first hole right, so that's the most important thing at the moment. Once I've found my textures and plants and done everything I need to find, then it's going to be a lot quicker. So we got that funny bit of heavy rough there, which should just be gone now. We should be back to that. There's a bit of heavy rough there, is that? What's that funny shape there? That is definitely heavy rough. So I think we're going to have to just cut a bit more dirt in there. Dirt, spline. We're just going to bring it around the edge here, haven't we? There. Join. That's fine. I think we're going to need to run another course of bedrock along there. So I'll just try and get that face to have a little bit more bedrock. That's fine for a minute. I would like to do something along here. That definitely needs flattening out there. That whole section dips down too much. And let's just check that out. Also wondering if I can add some little brush sand in there just to break all that darkness up there. Sand brush, favourite one. That one. I'm going to spam a bit along here now. Gives the edge a little bit of character, but not too much. Spam another bit. It's definitely adding, so I'll just keep working that along. I'm just spamming that the X as I'm laying them. Probably laid about 30 or 40 there. I think we're also going to need something to break up this edge. It's going to have to be a grass, I think. But obviously where it tapers away, we're going to have grass that's edged off. Quite weird. So we need to work out how we're going to do that. We can try some bushes first and then see if we can get away with some grass. So we've got sort of bushes coming along at the edge of our sort of mini little cliff. We're going to be quite tight there, isn't it? How does that look? And tuck it in a bit more. It's just trying to give us something to define. I'll show you what I mean. Come in here with this one, bring it down a little bit smaller. So now, get rid of you. If I add a bit of grass through here now, if I leave it there, we're going to get that where the stalks or the stems aren't going into the ground. I can get it to around here. I can hide all that with those bushes. That was the purpose of putting those bushes there. Now I can sort of run a bit through here. We'll see what it looks like. And we'll have an idea of what it'll look like all the way along. Let's come out a little bit, and then we can always add just some more bushes and some different grasses here. That could work. Now we've lost our surface weathering ability, so we're going to have to come up with a grass to give us a faux surface weathering, like this one maybe. It just breaks up the three different colour, or the two different colours of grass a little bit. It gives us that. That's not a problem. And then we might have to go for the old faithful grass. I don't place grass, Steve. Oh. So to get some sort of interesting shapes going on, and add another colour of texture in, because it's a different colour to the two other grasses I've used already. Just hopefully break things up a little bit, make it look more natural. So that's okay. If we did that all the way along, that would kind of work, and then we could do that all the way along this side. Just try and keep it as low as we can through here. Just run a bit of this grass through here. And we'll do a course that way. And we'll just keep adding those bushes along there. So I've got these stupid auto-genned ones that I need to take out, because they're going to create stupid blooming floating bushes, floating grasses. So we'll just get rid of them. They only seem to come up to there. I'll get rid of them. Now we can add some stone in and see if we can get anything going along the cliff. That might make it a bit more dramatic. Don't have to have it solid, we could just add little bits in if we get away with it. And we use bushes to hide any funny little edges and things. We don't want too many repeating patterns, obviously. That's the key to rock work. Okay. Nothing amazing. So if we changed it to this one, just keep blending it in. I find you can really go nuts with rock work. It seems to have a good object meter. Usage doesn't seem to really overdo the object meter. So I'm quite happy to put as much rock work in as I can, really. So we can definitely get away with that all the way along doing this sort of process. Just add our little test area there, so we know what we're doing along that edge. Just need to make sure that we add as much of the smaller grass in, the other bush as we can. Keep mixing it up, breaking up the textures, breaking up the repeat. We can get that going along there in that style all the way along. I think we can do something similar over here. I'm not going to do that yet until I've flattened out that path. I think we can kind of get the same sort of scenario going through here and finish it off with grass. It's just I just don't like the texture. See, I mean, everything's a lot more defined. And you get those funny little areas there that don't quite look straight. You're always better off just deleting the point. It should straighten it up a bit like that. Just means you got too many points in, that's all. And the more you delete, the more smooth it will become, if you know what I mean. There's a funny one here somewhere. We'll delete that point. I'll just bring that back round. There's definitely one here somewhere. That one. Delete that point. Okay. Let's save it. And get rid of. Yeah, so my only real. I prefer this theme and the backdrop, but my only real issue is my surface weathering's gone. It's my only sort of problem at the moment with it. I can't see those two bunkers on the right anymore, so we need to drop down that area in front of the bunker, which kind of makes sense in a way, because we can rise up over the top of the bunker and come back down again with a path, I'm thinking. So we need to get rid of that bush and that bush. drop that area back down. I'm going to use the flatten tool for a minute. Just trying to expose the bunker again at the moment, that's the key to it. I'm trying to get going. I don't mind that it rises up over the top here of this bunker, it's quite cool. Just got to make it a little less severe, but we can do that with the raised tool in a minute. Just get all this flattened out so we can start to look at some planting along here. It's kind of about right.